So welcome back to another Millennial Minute. Today we're asking, at what age should kids get social media? You've already heard from our guests, Denise Albert, she's the founder of themoms.com, and Chenelle Young, she's a dancer, choreographer, and of course these two lovely ladies are mothers. So ladies, the age limit for most social media platforms is 12 years old. But Denise, you were saying your kids were on at 11. Tell me what that was
Uh-oh.
like.
It's tricky. It's really hard. I mean, I've used social media a lot for my business, so my kids were really antsy about getting on. So when they got on at the younger ages, I monitored everything, and I still try to. But as Chenelle said, she really believes in 16. I'd love to know how old your kids are because I have an almost 16-year-old, and it's very, very difficult. As much as I understand your viewpoints and respect you for that, I wish you well with that.
Yeah, Denise ripped the thoughts out of my head, right? Chenelle, what you're saying sounds like it makes so much sense, right? Nature and literature and wholesome upbringing. But let's be frank, I didn't grow up like that. And I turned out okay. So how do you balance like being mainstream while protecting the kids' mental health, as you mentioned?
I would say for me, I do totally see and hear where you're at too. And my son is young, my oldest son right now, he's 8. And what we try to do now, I know he's already interested in social media, and I think he's right now way too young to be present. But I do have a niece that's 14 and have been a very, very close second mother to her, and to see the hurt and the pain and the detriment that's gone in from no supervision and the experiences that she's had. I hope to be able to just stay connected. And it's not that I necessarily don't want my children to be involved in social media at all, but I would like to be present and see everything that's happening and see the things that are flooding in, and just have some type of handle on that for at least until I know that they are mentally strong enough to handle the things that are coming in and make strong choices for themselves. And I don't know that 14 even is early enough to do that for some kids. For some it may be, and I think it's case by case and family by family, and every family is different and every child is different. But I have seen really, really harsh, negative, very hurtful effects. And to have that so close, that's something that's really important to me to maintain for my family.
So Denise, so the kids are out there, maybe even parents who want to limit it, the kids find ways around it. Let's be honest, they're more technologically advanced than most of us are, right? Do you sit down and tell your kids, hey, this isn't real. This is a portrait that people want to push forth. And really, this doesn't reflect reality.
Yes, my kids have grown up seeing me be as authentic as possible. I shared a lot about my cancer journey. I shared a lot this summer. I lived with my kids' dad, so my ex-husband and his wife. So I have always tried to share very, very, very authentically. So I hope that comes across to my children. I believe it does, but that doesn't mean that they're always going to make the right choices either. And actually, we had something this morning, and you're saying, family by family and, year by year. I'd say it's almost day by day, especially with teenagers. Again, with a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old, it's day by day because, just this morning I had to take my son's phone, and sometimes they know I'm looking and sometimes they don't. And I saw some things that I wasn't particularly pleased with, and I just had a conversation with him without even saying I went on your phone, but I just said, I really want to have a conversation about making smart choices, and I don't know that you are doing that. And so there's also a way to have a conversation without saying, oh, I read your phone today, because in all likelihood, my kids should know that at any given time, I can take their phone. I have their passwords. They're not allowed to change it. And they should know that I am always going to see something. So I just think it's important to keep the communication open and to remind them about making smart choices and what is real, and about being truthful, and about really understanding that it's there forever, even if it's Snapchat and it goes away.
Yeah, no, that also can be there forever. So Chenelle, we have a lot of people on our staff that we pay to do social media, right? So do you worry that when your kids come of age, they're not getting the skills they need to really succeed in employment? Because let's face it, corporations, small businesses, no matter who you are, social media is just a standard part of the landscape. So, and this is just our new reality, especially now during the pandemic. You have homeschooled kids. A lot of times the touch points are on social media.
I think this is an excellent question, and actually something I really hoped that I would be able to talk about for my son specifically. He actually has so much interest in computer technology and in being a director and in being a creator and an actor, and the things that he loves are all media based. So that's something that's so important for me as his, not only his mother, but also as his teacher, to help him get the tools. And luckily I'm in the industry and I'm connected to resources for him to learn and to understand, and to really see the back end and the behind the scenes, and understand the creative process, and understand he's learning coding right now, and really understanding how those pieces work, and not just the facade of this is what comes through the screen, but these are the kids who made this movie, and my friend's mom was in that show, and my mom's boss is this lady, and he sees that part of it. So I think he does, at a really young age, have a clear grasp on what is real and what is not, and how this process created the final result that you see on the screen. So that's something that's really important to me, because I know that's such a huge passion of his, and I want to set him up for success if he wants to work in film or in social media or in technology, that he wants to be more on the creative side and in the process of creating really good, wholesome, beautiful, inspiring media, and not just consuming things that could really hurt him without him knowing.
Yeah, you both bring up a good point. Technology is a double-edged sword, and that leads me to my next question for Denise. Denise, how do you protect your children, right? Since you're a public person on social media, what are the boundaries? And I'll have the same question for you, Chenelle, as well. Like, can you share your journey? A lot of celebrities choose not to really include their kids in their social media. What are appropriate boundaries for all of this type of stuff that we publish?
Well, I think it's really about each family also and what feels comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't say I am not a celebrity, but I did share publicly certain aspects of my life. And again, I did it because it felt good for me. It's not for everybody. And, there were certain times where my kids didn't want to be a part of certain things, and I have to respect that. And when they got on social media, I used to have them share with me what they were posting and what they were writing. And everything had to be approved by me. Obviously, as they got older and a little bit more, around social media, they don't come to me now for that, and it's hard to manage. But if I see something that I don't like what it says, or even if there's a spelling error, they're going to hear from me. I text them immediately, because it has to be, I want it all to be a certain, not that they can't make spelling errors, but again, it's out there for the public. So the picture has to be appropriate and it has to be meaningful. And that's what I try to share with them. Why are you posting this? It's not just about look at me. It's what is the purpose behind it? Is there a lesson that you can share? Is there something inspirational about what you want to share? Is there something that you think could help others? Not just look at me.
So Chenelle, quickly, because we're out of time here, go ahead.
I love that. And I actually agree right now, again, because my son is younger, the boundary for us is very much, we are in the creation process together. And like with a YouTube channel, like I own all of those accounts. He doesn't have access to any of that. So the boundary for us eventually would become, when do I let you have access to be able to post on your own and to be able to really curate your own content? But we're not at that stage yet. So it's really cool for me to hear your experience, because that's what's next for me.
Well, I want to thank you both for taking the time to talk to us. But additionally, I'd like to congratulate you both and all the moms out there doing double duty. Everyone's a homeschooler right now. Yeah. Everyone has to be a parent, and you're the cook, clean. You have to do everything. So to all the super moms out there, including you both, thank you so much for all the work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Nice to meet you, Chenelle. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And thank you all for watching Bold TV. Be sure to follow us at Bold TV on nearly every social media channel out there. We'll see you soon.